What is up, everybody? I am back. I know it's been days since I uploaded, but school really started getting tough for me. And I'm really trying to get straight A's. And my grades were really slacking, so I had to take a break from YouTube. I'm still going to be taking a little bit of a break because, like, my grades aren't bad. I have like one D and a C and the rest of A's, but I really want straight A's this quarter, and my grades were not where I wanted them to be, so I had to take a break from uploading. And I probably won't be uploading as much because I really needed to be studying because a lot of midterms and stuff are coming around. But I just want to bring you guys this quick video about the truth about Mark Richt's future with the Miami Hurricanes. So on a lot of social media pages and everywhere I see people saying that they want us to lose our next two games so Mark Richt can be fired. And my message that I have for you guys are delusional. Mark Richt, if Mark Richt loses these next two games, he's still going to be the head coach of the Miami Hurricanes. Because think about it this way. Mark Richt, if we really wanted to fire Mark Richt, he would have already had been fired. But he's still here. So this guy went 10. We were 10-0 last year. So it's no way we're going to fire a coach that had us at 10-0 on the top of the world last season, and then we just have a bad season. He just gets fired after one bad season. So that's not going to happen. What is going to happen is that if we lose these next two games and don't make it to a bowl game, Mark Richt is going to have the hottest seat in all of college football next season. And he's going to be pressured like he's never been pressured before. This is going to be more pressure than it has been that he has ever had at Georgia. Next season is going to be crucial that Mark Richt puts a championship team on that field next year. Because he's going to have the hottest seat in all of college football. He's not going to get fired this year. A lot of people think that that's going to happen, but I strongly doubt that will happen. Simply for the fact that we were 10-0 last year. Well, we started out 10-0 last year. We finished like 10-4. There's no way we're going to fire a coach that has had pretty okay season, because before Mark Richt got here, we weren't really that good with Al Golden. He got us to the point where we should be competing for championships, and that's what we expect. We're kind of in the same boat like Michigan fans were with Jim Harbaugh, I think it is, or John Harbaugh. I get them mixed up, but Michigan fans, they are expecting championships, not bowl game appearances, not Big Ten championship wins. They want championship appearances. And that's where the Miami Hurricanes program is right now. We're tired of making it to bowl games. We're tired of making it to ACC championship games and losing. We're at that point now. We're at our peak. At our peak is what we were last year. This team, I don't know what this is. I don't know what this season is. But Miami fans, we just need to get over this season. Mark Richt isn't going anywhere. You got everybody. We just need to get over the fact that Mark Richt is our head coach, because he's not going anywhere. We have to deal with it. We're going to have an offensive coordinator next year. So Mark Richt is going to have a very hot seat. He's going to have the hottest seat of all of college football next year, I believe. I strongly believe, because Mark Richt is going to have to perform next year, because this offense is going to be the key for us making a championship run next year, because we're losing our entire defense. We're probably only going to have about 3 returning starters from this year's team or next year's team. Probably some defensive linemen and Zach McLeod, because I don't think Zach McLeod is going to declare for the NFL draft, because he doesn't really have a lot of NFL draft hype behind his name. So I doubt that he declares. I expect him to be back next year. So Zach McLeod is going to be back next year, in my opinion. I think he will be. He doesn't really have a lot of NFL draft hype behind his name like the other linebackers do, like Shaq Quarterman and Michael Pittney. Shaq Quarterman is projected a 2nd-round pick, and Michael Pittney is like a 4th-round, 5th-round pick. He'll probably be higher than that when you roll the film and when the combine comes around. But the truth is that Mark Richt isn't going to be fired if we don't make it to a bowl game or if we lose the rest of our games this season. It's not going to happen. But we are going to be a little bit down in recruiting, but we're still going to have a top 25 recruiting class. And Mark Richt is, like I said earlier in the video, that Mark Richt is going to have a very, very hot seat next year. No doubt about it, he's going to have the hottest seat in all of college football. And if we start out like how we started out this season, and we start like this next season, it's going to be a problem. And we kick off the season playing against Florida. Nobody, I can understand losing to LSU, but I do not want to lose to Florida. I hate Florida. I hate FSU. But FSU makes my skin crawl. But I hate Florida. I don't hate Florida as much as I hate FSU, but still rivalry game, and we cannot lose that game. That, against Florida next year in our season opener, that is a must-win for Mark Richt. He's going to have the hottest seat in all of college football next year. He has the hottest seat right now, but how I feel, even if he loses these next two games, I doubt that we fire him, because if we wanted to fire him, he should have already been fired, in my opinion. So I believe he's going to be around for next year, but I believe that he's going to have a very, very hot seat. Like you said, Gerald, his seat is already hot, but it's going to be very, very, very smoking hot next season. Very hot, because Manny Diaz is going to be tested, because we're going to have a whole entirely new defense. So our offense is going to have to win games for us. We're going to have a whole entire defense that's brand new players stepping in. It's going to be a whole lot of unfamiliar faces on our defense next year. Our offense, I expect us to be very, very good. N'Kosi Perry, Jaron Williams, I expect these guys to develop. N'Kosi Perry is definitely going to be better than what he is this year, because we're going to have an offensive coordinator. And Jaron Williams, I'm very excited to see how the competition in the spring shapes up, because whoever loses this quarterback battle is going to end up transferring. I'm not even going to talk about the Kelly Bryant situation, because if he comes to Miami, I'm going to be pissed. I do not want Kelly Bryant playing for the Miami Hurricanes. Somebody was arguing about me about Kelly Bryant being an upgrade. Hello, sir. Kelly Bryant led this team to the college football playoffs, and Clemson fans still didn't want him as a starter. So obviously, if you lead the team to the college football playoffs and the fans still don't want you as a starter, it's a freaking problem. And he's basically Malik Roser 2.0. He's not very good as a passer. He has to do everything with his feet, all this and that. He's Malik Roser 2.0. We need a guy who can throw the ball. Kelly Bryant is not a better passer than N'Kosi or Jaron Williams, so there's no point in having him. We need a guy who can sling the ball, not run the ball. Like Ohio State fans are complaining about Dwayne Haskins being the reason why Ohio State isn't that good rushing the ball. Hello, Ohio State fans. This is probably the best offense that you guys have had in a while. Despite Dwayne Haskins' inability to run the ball, this is the best offense you guys have had, because you guys actually have a guy who can throw the ball. JT Barrett was very, very inconsistent. And I don't want Kelly Bryant coming in here as a senior and us being trapped like how we are with Malik. We need to let N'Kosi or Jaron Williams be the starter next year. I strongly in my heart believe that Mark Richt wants Jaron Williams to be the starter. But again, I'm not as sold as I was a few weeks ago, because Mark Richt, he's had said some good things about Jaron Williams, and Jaron Williams is basically the quarterback who Mark Richt would preferably choose to run his system. But Mark Richt has, quote, quote, been so much concerned this year about experience, which is why he has been so stuck on Malik Rozier as a quarterback for so long. So if he's so sold on experience, I expect N'Kosi Perry to be the starter next year, because he has more experience than Jaron Williams. Even if Jaron Williams turns out to be the more talented player, I expect N'Kosi Perry to be the starter, just based on Mark Richt's philosophy of going with the guy who has the most experience. But hey, can you really trust Mark Richt? Can you really? But I'm just going by what Mark Richt has stood on so far. So he typically goes with the guy who has the most experience. He's done the same thing at Georgia, but the truth of the matter is that he's not going anywhere this season, I believe, unless somebody like Alonzo1219 tells me other, because he has close sources with the university. I believe that Mark Richt isn't going anywhere. Even if we lose these last 2 games or don't make it to a bowl game, I don't think he's going anywhere. Next season, though, if he doesn't perform and we don't and we don't win the Coastal next year, he's going to be out. He's going to be out. I saw Warren Sapp had a tweet. It was a few weeks. I think it's like 2 weeks ago that he said that U is down. Warren Sapp. And if you guys don't believe me, you guys can go on Twitter and you guys can look up Warren Sapp and just scroll through his timeline on Twitter, and you're going to see the exact same tweet that he made a few weeks ago about the U being down. And we are down because this time last year, we were on the top of the world. I believe around this time last year, we just got done smacking Notre Dame in the mouth or Virginia Tech in the mouth after a lot of people thought that we were not back and that we were going to get trampled by Notre Dame and we were going to get trampled by Virginia Tech, and we smacked both of them on the mouth. But next year, if Mark Richt doesn't perform, he's going to be out. And Manny Diaz is most likely going to be the head coach, in my opinion. He should be the head coach if Mark Richt turns out to get fired. Because I just like the energy that Manny Diaz brings, and he has a lot more common sense than what Mark Richt has. But what Mark Richt has to do right now, he needs to get rid of his son. His son, I don't know how his son is qualified to be a quarterback coach at all. Like, what qualifications? Can somebody tell me in the comment section what qualifications does John Richt have of being the quarterback coach? What experience does he have? Was he a former NFL quarterback or a former Canadian football quarterback or something that we like? What qualifies him to be the quarterback coach? What qualifies him? What did do young Prince preach? I mean, I'm not going to get emotional. I'm not going to rant. If Kelly Bryant comes to Miami, I'm going to be very, very mad, and I will come on here and rant. Because I do not want Kelly Bryant is exactly like Malik Rosa 2.0. And anybody that wants to argue with, that wants to get on here and argue with me, is because Clemson fans even said, even when they went to the college football playoffs, that Kelly Bryant, they wanted a new quarterback. They did not want Kelly Bryant playing. This guy in 2 seasons as a starter has thrown for 16 touchdowns and 13 interceptions. Nkosi has thrown for almost that same amount of number and has only started in about 5 games. This guy has had similar numbers to Nkosi in 2 seasons. We don't need a running quarterback. We need a guy who can throw the ball downfield. And Kelly Bryant is a better passer than Nkosi or Jaron Williams. So I don't want him to come to Miami. I doubt that he comes to Miami. If he does come to Miami, somebody's going to transfer out. And even if he doesn't, I believe somebody's going to end up transferring out anyway. I believe if Nkosi or Jaron Williams loses this quarterback battle in the spring, somebody's going to end up transferring out. But I expect Nkosi Perry to be the starter going into next season based on Mark Richt's philosophy of wanting the guy who has the most experience. And he's mostly held true to that because during his time at Georgia, he has always went with the most experienced player. So I expect Nkosi Perry to be the starter next year, and I expect him to have a very good season with a real offensive coordinator. I'm still eager to see who an offensive coordinator is going to be. A lot of people wanted to be the guy from Houston. Is it Kendall Bayer? Kendall Bayer? I can't pronounce anything, but I know he worked at Oregon, and the Houston offense is very, very good. They average over 50 points per game, and I really want him to be the offensive coordinator for us, to be honest. If anybody knows any better, but I really want him to be the offensive coordinator. I believe he will elevate our offense, and we're going to need offense if we want to make it to the ACC championship because, like I said earlier in the live stream, we're going to have an entirely new defense, a lot of unfamiliar faces. A lot of people are probably going to be familiar with Zach McCloud. That's probably going to be the most notable returning starter that we're going to have because he doesn't really have a lot of draft buzz. I expect Michael Pickney and Shaq to be gone. If we get Shaq to come back or Michael, one of those guys to come back, I would be entirely surprised because they have really, really high draft grades. Shaq Quarterman, I believe he's probably going to be a late first rounder or early second rounder, but I believe he'll probably sneak into the first round. Michael Pickney, he'll probably be a third rounder. Whoa. Been talking for so long, I need some water. I forgot to bring my water bottle, but yeah, but before I end this video, I'm just going to say that I don't see Mark Richt being fired if we lose the last 2 games. So Miami fans, please stop commenting that we're not going to fire a guy that led us to a 10-4 season last year just because we had one bad season. We're not going to do that. We're not. It's going to have to take him to string 2 bad seasons in a row for him to get fired. We're not going to fire a guy who has improved because despite what people say, despite me coming on here and bashing Mark Richt, we were a joke before he got here. Before we got here, we were a joke. We were a laughing stock. What bowl game were we playing before Mark Richt got here? We were playing in the Sun Bowl, right? The Sun Bowl. We were playing against Washington State in the freaking Sun Bowl. Who knows what the Sun Bowl is? The Sun Bowl. The Sun Bowl. The Sun Bowl. We were playing the Sun Bowl before Mark Richt got here. So I know a lot of people bash Mark Richt, but you can't bash him about what this program was before he got here. But now it's reached its peak. Last year was Mark Richt's peak. That's what we're going to be if he doesn't change whatever he's doing. We're going to be 10-4, 10-4. We're going to be like Wisconsin. We're going to be that one team that can never get over the hump. That's what Mark Richt is. He'll get you there. He'll get you there. He'll get you there. But he won't get you nowhere further. We'll just be 10-4. We'll keep dropping games to top 25 opponents. All this and that. I mean, last year, I believe last season was the best season Mark Richt has had as a coach in the last 10 years. I mean, when you think about it, nobody thought we could beat Notre Dame. Well, other than us Miami fans. Everybody thought we were going to get steamrolled by Notre Dame. Then we beat Notre Dame. Then everybody thought we were going to get steamrolled by Virginia Tech. And we ended up smacking Virginia Tech in the mouth. So I believe last season was Mark Richt's best job as a coach in the last 10 years. But we're not going to fire Mark Richt after this season if we don't make it to a bowl game. It's going to take 2 bad seasons for us to fire Mark Richt. So I don't see Mark Richt going anywhere. So for all you guys wanting us to lose, just stop it. You might as well want us to win, because win or lose, he's still going to be the head coach next season. He's not going anywhere, because if he was to get fired, it would have already been some stories or some leaks about him having a thin leash. But next year he's gonna have a thin leash. He's gonna have the hottest seat of all the college football, and he's gonna have to produce. And we're going to make it to the ACC championship, and we're going to have to put up a fight against Clemson, because Trevor Lawrence isn't going anywhere. Clemson, you see, here's the thing for us Miami fans to be optimistic about next season. A lot of people are going to be like, oh, we're just going to get steamrolled by Clemson next year. We're not, because Clemson is going to have basically the same thing we're going to have. Other than the coaching issues and all play calling issues and the quarterback issues, they're going to be losing almost their whole entire defense too. So they're going to have a lot of unfamiliar faces on their defense, just like us. So we're going to be pretty evenly matched on defense. Offensively, I feel we're going to be better than Clemson. Besides at the quarterback position, I believe all wide receiving core is going to be better than Clemson's. I don't know about the offensive line. We have a pretty good recruiting class so far when it comes to the offensive line. I would like us to add at least 2 more players, but if signing day was to start today and end today, I would be okay with Miami's recruiting class when it comes to the offensive lineman. The offensive lineman, I'm just saying offensive lineman. I'm not talking about as a whole. I'm just talking about the offensive lineman. I would be okay with the offensive lineman we have right now. I would like us to add at least 1 or 2 more. 1 or 2 more. But everybody needs to accept the fact that this season is a complete wash. And if we don't make it to a bowl game, Mark Richt is still going to be the head coach. because you're not going to fire a guy that has led you to a win of a 9-4 season, a 10-4 season over one bad season. You're just not going to do that. It's going to have to take another bad year for Mark Richt to get fired. A lot of the Miami fans on Instagram and on social media, a lot of you guys like speak from emotion. Like, you guys aren't looking at this guy from a logical perspective. The logical perspective would be that you're not going to fire Mark Richt over one bad season. You're not. Because we were 10-0. He did have us on the top of college football last season. He did. We were 10-0. So you're not going to fire Mark Richt over one bad season. You're just not. Because think about what we were before he got here. Before he got here. But now we have reached Mark Richt's peak. But if we don't make it to the ACC championship game next year, we're going to fire Mark Richt. So he's going to have the hottest seat of all of college football next year. No doubt about it. And that Florida game is going to be a really, 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 really key season. Yeah, we're losing recruits. But even though we're losing recruits, we're still going to have a top 25 recruiting class. We're going to flip a lot of guys. A lot of guys going to flip. So I'm not really worried. We're probably going to end up with a top 15 recruiting class. I don't see us finishing no lower than 25. We're going to have a top 25 recruiting class. We can't win without talent. But we're still going to have a top 25 recruiting class. You guys, like, it's a little bit, we still have about a month to go. A lot of guys are going to flip. A lot of guys on the defense side of the ball are going to be like, oh, Miami's losing such and such. Let me go to Miami. Need some water, but our recruiting class isn't going to be all that bad as people think it is. We lost Marcus Crowley, but I mean, I expected him to decommit because we're already loaded at running back. So I was just wondering when he was going to decommit because we're already loaded at running back. So I expected him to decommit. The safety that went to Syracuse, and he was a 3-star. We're going to flip some guys. I want the top 5 recruiting class. Dude, like we had a hell of a good recruiting class last season. So the guys that we had from last year's recruiting class, we didn't really see a lot of. But I think our recruiting class from last year is going to be enough to have. We are loaded at running back. We are. Dude, we had DJ Dallas, Homer. We got Lorenzo Lingard, who is going to be back. And we got some other speedy guys. So we're loaded. What's that running back? Flip who? College? I don't think DJ Dallas is a senior. I think he's a sophomore, actually. DJ Dallas is a sophomore. Travis Homer is a junior. So we're going to be straight. What's that running back? Believe it or not, I think we actually got another running back earlier. We don't have a senior at running back. We don't have any senior running backs. We don't really have a lot of notable senior wide receivers. Like, we got Luke Cage, but that's not really a loss. Like, Luke Cage has underperformed this year. Next year, I expect our offense to take a big giant step, though, especially with the coordinator. But we're loaded at running back, so I'm not really going to stress over losing Marcus Crowley. So, before I end this, because I'm starting to lose my voice, I'm not going to fire Mark Richt after one bad season. I think reacting. We're not going to fire a guy that led us to last year and led us to a 10-4 record. And he has improved the program because think about what we were before Mark. Think about it. Before I end this video, I just want you guys to think about the Al Golden era. What were we before Mark Richt got here? Now, it's time for Mark. He's reached his peak. But he has to exceed his peak. So, and Mark Richt I don't think Travis Homer is going anywhere. Like when I look at NFL scouting reports, I didn't see anything about Travis Homer. A lot of scouts don't even have him listed as a top 20 running back, so he's going to be back next season. He's going to be back next season. I do my research. Like one thing about me, like I'm very like one of my favorite things about football is the NFL draft. So I know, trust me, if I say a player isn't going to go, I'm probably 75% correct. Cause I keep up with all the NFL scouting reports and draft rooms and all that. We don't really have no notable losses on offense. Besides Luke Cage, but Luke Cage has underperformed anyway. So that's it for this live stream. Oh my God. Man, had to say Kelly Bryant. Like I said earlier, Kelly Bryant is Malik Rosa 2.0. Don't want him playing for Miami. I mean, this guy, look at his stats. In 2 seasons, he has passed for 16 touchdowns and 13 interceptions. Nkosi has passed for what? 14 touchdowns in about 5 games starting? Do we really want this guy to be our quarterback? We need a guy who can throw the ball. Throw the ball. Not run. Throw the ball downfield. And Kelly Bryant can't do that. And I know after I end this, somebody's going to be like, he's completed 66% of his passes. That his complete percentage is a lie. We're not going to lose to Florida at all. We're going to be better than you guys on offense. That's going to be a fact. And you guys' quarterback situation is going to be a lot worse than ours. Yeah, but you guys aren't going to beat us. Not with Felipe. Not with Felipe. You guys aren't going to beat us. You guys aren't going to beat us next year. Florida is... I got to end this. I can't talk, but... Yeah, like I said, we're going to beat Florida, but Mark Richt isn't going anywhere. It's just one bad season. But he's going to have the hottest season in college football next year. So thanks for all you guys that's watching. Make sure if you haven't, make sure to subscribe, like the video. And yeah, I'm taking a break because I have to focus on school. My grades aren't what I want them to be. I want to have straight A's, and I'm aiming to have straight A's. And I really, really need to have straight A's if I want to start getting some college scholarship money before I take my SAT. Because college is expensive. And I love Miami, but I'm not going to